Good morning, YouTube. It's Lisa, and today I thought, while I have just a few minutes while my kids are watching Little Bear, I thought that I would address one of the questions that we've been getting lately, even from our friends who really love us and care about us and are really supportive of this. What are you doing for Christmas? And then by that, they don't mean what are you doing, like where are you going, what are you doing, but they mean like, how are you dealing with presents? Considering you're trying to get rid of stuff, how are you going to deal with presents and during this time? So, first of all, I'll tell you a couple things about our family as we kind of go through this journey and how the present thing is actually not really a huge big deal in a lot of ways, but it's mainly going to be how we're dealing with presents for our kids. So I'll start with that one, and then I'll move how we're dealing with presents from other people and for me and my husband. So my kids, so we have a basement, a finished basement, and in the basement there's an extra bedroom, an extra bathroom, like, I don't know, I guess it's not an extra, but there's a bathroom, a bedroom, and like a game room, and then there's like a there was like a play area and a computer area. Within the toy area, there's actually another room full of toys. Yeah, okay, so and it's a long story, but anyway, about how we like ended up doing that room. My husband built shelves, and we put these Rubbermaid totes of each bin of, like, you know, we had Legos and Matchbox cars and Bionicles and whatever. So we put all these things in there, and so we had a toy room in our toy room. So if that just tells you that my kids weren't hurting for toys, yeah, that should tell you a story right there. So, but what we noticed about that was that even though we had all these amazing toys, like any toy room should have, our kids played with certain things. Like, they would get a set of Power Rangers, and they would only play with them like the day they got them, and then they'd be done. And they would get, you know, whatever. Like, one time my mom got them those calico critters. Those are crazy expensive. I would never get them for them, but my mom got them. And they played with them for like 2 days, and then they didn't play with them again. And we have a lot of things like that. We have like remote control helicopters and blah, 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 and things that, like, you know, they'd play with and they'd be bored. So what we started to notice was that the toys that were always current, always played with, never boring, were blocks, just plain wooden blocks, and Matchbox cars, and often those go together because you can build ramps and then you can run Matchbox cars into them, down them, over them, whatever. And Legos, and more Legos. Legos never get old, they never get boring, and you can build a million things. And you can go to the Lego website if you have Legos that have been taken apart, and you can print off every single thing, like how to make it, and just put it in a binder, like with you know, page protectors. And if your kids like are looking for something to build, they can build it without buying the set. Yeah, hello. That was like genius. A friend of mine told me about that. I'm like, oh, brilliant. Okay, so, and then Bionicles, and if you haven't had, you know, I have an 11-year-old, so if kids, so when we started collecting, they were Bionicles. They say the very same thing is now Hero Factory. So, but anyway, they're like these interchangeable, like, robot guys, and you can build new ones, and you can build crazy ones, and, you know, my kids build pets for them. So anyway, those are essentially the only things they play with out of all those things. Like, if I were to get a bin of toys out, they would look at them and they would go, you know, oh, I haven't seen that, that's my favorite thing, and they'd play it for like half an hour, and then they'd be back to playing with Legos. So what we did was we eliminated everything. We put everything in a garage sale pile, and we said, if they ask for it, oh, and one more thing, Thomas the wooden train, oh my goodness, as much as I really wanted to sell that, because they're worth like a fortune. I was like, oh, we should sell that at the garage sale. My kids actually really like them and still play with them, but that was another thing that we decided, wow, they do play with it, because they can build lots of tracks, they can play together, and it's a great game. So anyway, we decided that we would put everything out into the garage for a garage sale, and we would just let it sit there, and then if the kids asked for it by name, we would bring it back in. I've brought in one thing, and it's been things have been sitting out there for 3 months. The things that stayed in that were asked for right away were Thomas, wooden blocks, Bionicles, Legos, and Matchbox cars. That was it. That's 5 things. So since none of those other things have even been requested, we decided to focus on that, because those are the things that, like, we're gonna store. Everyone's gonna have their own bin, their own things, and we were like, everyone can have their own Lego box and keep it like on their bed. So We are focusing on Legos, Bionicles. We already have a ton of wooden blocks. The other thing that we are also focusing on is technology. And even though we have a time limit on technology for our kids, our younger ones get 30 minutes, and that's of like educational games and stuff, and then our older ones get an hour. But that's not including school research or whatever. But I am paring down, we have about 3,000 books, and that's not an exaggeration, and that's another story, but I'm actually getting ready to give away and sell a lot of our books, and so I am putting a lot of things on a Kindle for my kids to read and my kids to do. So we are focusing on technology. So basically we felt like if we got everyone a Kindle, that they would have, that we could really put a ton of books and stuff and just really have that accessible. Now, that being said, I do want them to have those accessible on the Kindle, and it takes up like that much space, so not a big deal. And then the Lego bin, and then so we're focusing on Legos, Kindles, and even though we are getting them the Kindles, we are keeping a few of our very favorite books, and we're also just doing our regular rotation to the library. I'm considering the library my personal storage area for books because I still love a book. I have a really hard time reading on a Kindle. I really prefer like an actual hard copy, and I think my kids will too. I just do like them I like them to have that access, having all their music, all, whatever, all their movies, music, books, and stuff all in that one place. So that's what, and then, let's see, and then what are we, and then we are also focusing on some green science things that you build out of recyclables, and then the little pieces of the kits are just teeny weeny things that you can keep in a bag in your homeschool bin. So really that is what we are, what we're really focusing on. And then for stockings and stuff, we're really looking for consumables. Yeah, like my kids want toothbrushes and toothpaste, but like toothbrushes and toothpaste and socks and clothes. We definitely have some kids that are like low on clothes. So that's what we're doing. We're basically looking at, we're not letting anything come into this house that we will not be using in the RV. And so I hope that kind of answered that question as far as what we're doing for our kids. We are selling our Christmas tree and everything, and because we think we're just going to do a Christmas tree outdoors next year, and just maybe a teeny tiny one in the RV. But okay, so my husband and I, we have never exchanged a Christmas gift ever. When we were on our honeymoon, we got married in November, and when we were on our honeymoon, this amazing woman that we met told us how she and her husband had, they never bought each other a Christmas gift, and they had always exchanged an ornament each year. And of course I was like, oh, that would be great, let's do that. And the first couple years it's like, oh, that's really neat. And then, but then 13 years later, it is actually amazing, because what a gift it is when you open up your Christmas ornaments, and it kind of becomes a competition, like who's going to outdo the other one and who could do. So when you open up and you just go, oh my gosh, that reflects that time in my life. So just as an example, the year that we had our first son, my husband got me a little baby carriage, a silver baby carriage, and it's like engraved and has a special message on it. And I had made him like a homemade ornament, about our baby, and like I'd made these like little kisses and put like baby kisses in it anyway, and I'd written this note and attached it to it, and about how he was a great dad. And so anyway, we have everything from that to, one year we were really trying to leave where we were living. We really wanted to go back to the place where we met and live there forever, which was in upstate New York, living on the edge of Lake Ontario. And we had been trying, well, my husband finally got his job transfer to get them to go and work from home. And so he got me this like little thing that says like, we're out of here, and it's like a hot air balloon. It's got these bears in it, and it kind of reflects the year that we went there. And I got him a Superman ornament, and inside the cape I wrote like why he, in like a paint pen, why he was my Superman, like for caring for our family and taking us places. And we also have ornaments that reflect, sad things that have happened. We have an ornament that reflects the year my brother died. We have an ornament that reflects the year that our dog died. And we have an ornament that reflects the year that we lived at the Ronald McDonald House. My son has a heart defect, and it turned out to be much more serious than we ever thought. So we have a broken heart ornament on there that reflects that year. And just when I take them out, it is a gift in itself. I mean, honestly, I almost get teary-eyed thinking about it, because I just take them out and it gives me that whoosh of that moment. Even from the ornament we have, just from like when we first got married and we didn't even have kids and we weren't even expecting a baby, and we have these ornaments that's just, we got married the year of September 11th, and so we have ornaments that actually reflect, you know, praying for other people and praying for loss and those who have faced their first Christmas without family members because of that. And it's just a beautiful, touching experience. So we are going to continue to do that. And that is something that we are just going to take our box of favorite ornaments, and those will be on our indoor tree. And then we have a bunch of other ornaments that'll be on our outdoor tree, and if anyone steals them or whatever, it's fine. So that's what we are doing, and that's no change from what we've always done. And as far as family members and exchanging gifts, here's another thing where we are a little bit crazy. We had always done a gift exchange with my husband's parents and everything. Well, my mom has been a widow for a very long time, and it was always kind of really hard for her if we would get her a gift, because she felt like she couldn't return it, and I don't know, there was always a little bit of stress. And so we just ended up, she loves to buy for our kids, so we just did that. We don't do an exchange or give her anything, and we don't, and then we were buying stuff for my husband's parents, but then they have everything they could possibly need. Well, my husband's dad has since passed away, but they have always had, and we would just be getting them stuff that would just be like stuff, space fillers, you know, and stuff that like would end up at a garage sale or cluttering up their house. And so, and the same thing for like my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and their kids, and we don't really see their kids often enough to know what they really like or what they're into. So one year we decided that instead of exchanging all these gifts that nobody really needed or wanted, that we would donate to charity instead. So every year, instead of exchanging gifts, we take all the money that we would have spent, you know, on whoever, and we go ahead and just pick a charity. I mean, we've done the Ronald McDonald House, and we've done the Kanza Prairie, that was in honor of my brother. We've done just a couple different things in honor of different people, and we've done a heart society thing, the Mended Little Hearts we've done for a friend of ours who lost their daughter to a heart defect. And it is such a gift. It's so amazing, and it is so much more fulfilling. Now, when we first started, I was really good, and like I only had 2 kids, so I would like make the donation and I would write everyone's name on a card so that when and say this is from them, so the charity that we would donate to would send everyone a thank you note, you know, and it kind of confirmed that we donated. Okay. Since then, I just like send people a Christmas card and say, hey, just so you know, we're making a big donation, and I just like write a check, and I don't really go through all the trouble of writing everyone's name. And I know that's really bad, so everyone just has to, you know, I have to be on my honor, and that we really do, but we really do. And it's honestly a really amazing experience for our kids too, to see that. And so the way that that reflects on our RV experience is that our kids don't, not our kids, we don't, I got distracted by Little Bear. The amazing thing from that perspective is that we don't exchange. Everyone knows that we do that, so nobody buys us anything. And we always tell them, if you really want to do something, go ahead and donate to the charity of your choice, or you can donate to the charity that we donated to, and that way we just don't have this incoming stuff. Now, for teachers and stuff, we just do a consumable. What I normally do, and I know you can just call me a crazy person, like a cheap person or whatever. I know it's kind of generic, but what I normally do is I'll have my kids do something homemade that's like small, like I'll have my kids make an acrostic poem for their teacher, or something like I'll have her name and then do the like Smith, you know, and Smith like smiling and mother-like or whatever. They'll do an acrostic poem and put that with a little bag of the Lindor truffles. Oh my gosh, those are so good. And then we just put them in a little cellophane bag and put that with it. Now sometimes I'll put like a little Bath and Body Works hand sanitizer with it, or like, you know, because they're teachers and they totally need that. We're bringing our other 2 home, so this is not really relevant for us after this year, but in the past that's what we've done. And then we'll also attach a little note saying that we donated to charity in your name or whatever. Sometimes I'll keep Starbucks gift cards, like, you know, $5 and $10 Starbucks gift cards, and I'll put that in the middle of the truffles or whatever. But anyway, for teachers, I also just try to do consumables, things that I know, like the homemade things, I want my kids to be a part of it. But so it's kind of just, I don't want to push plastic and junk on anyone any more than I want plastic and junk pushed on me. So we do not do, you know, best teacher signs or anything like that. So I guess that pretty much covers what we're doing for Christmas, how we do Christmas. I probably covered more than you ever wanted to know, but essentially everything that our kids are getting for Christmas this year will fit into a tiny box or bin, and we feel like it's a really good choice. And also I just felt amazing about when we made those choices, because I felt like we chose really high quality, amazing things, like that they were going to be used, that we weren't going to see crunched up on the floor, you know, 3 weeks later. And so one other thing that I didn't address that I will address is, so our oldest one, we just basically told him the whole Santa deal, and we told him in the most amazing way. And if you're interested in that, that would take a whole video. If you're getting ready to tell a child of your own, now, you know, take it with a grain of salt, because I am still in that, I'm still in the trenches where we are dealing with it. So who knows, my kid could be traumatized for the rest of his life, so I don't want to give advice, but I feel like the way we told him was awesome. And so that made it easier to do stuff for him, because he has an iPad mini that he got for Christmas from my mom, so he is not getting requesting technology this year, but he dropped it and it has a crack across the screen. So he requested a screen fix. So so it just kind of made it easier that now that he knows that he can actually like request up front, like, hey, this is what I need, this is what I want, and we can go, okay. Anyway, so yeah, it was just, the funny thing is we had to tell him, because he was, we have a very naive family. I feel like that our kids have had very limited exposure to a lot of like things. Even the school they go to is like a very small school, and we started to realize that we had like the only like 11-year-old that still wasn't sure, that was still kind of questioning but not really sure. And we were like, yeah, we need to tell him before somebody tells him your parents lied. So anyway, yeah, that's how we told him. So if you were interested, leave a comment, and I will show you the book we used and the letter we used to tell him that I feel was a total gift, and was amazing. And I didn't come up with it myself. Someone told me about the book and I ordered it, and I had seen the letter several years ago, and I had just pinned it for when it came time for us to need it. So okay, well, I hope that answers your questions, and I hope that I didn't just over talk. So I hope you guys got some information about what we are doing. Obviously we're new to this. Next year I might tell you, holy cow, we were crazy, you can't fit 1,000 Legos in the RV. But anyway, that's it. And when my husband's ornament comes, I did order him an ornament for this year. I will do a video and show it to you, because it's pretty cute. And I think I will hang it next to, okay, so I'll tell you what it is and then I'll show it to you when it comes. But I ordered him an ornament. It has a little picture of a fifth wheel, because that's kind of our RV we're getting. And it says home sweet home. And the really cute thing is we're going to actually hang it next to the house that one year we built our dream home. We thought we were going to live there forever. And we built our dream home on the side of Lake Ontario. And my husband built a replica of it out of popsicle sticks. And so we thought we'd hang those side by side as to how our life has changed and how our values have changed. So just what an amazing journey. And thank you guys for watching, and thanks for being with me on this journey. And I am going to be posting a lot more questions, and I will try to keep it shorter. This Christmas thing just kind of ran one thing into another. Okay, love you guys. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.